John Starkey is a name known to many, not only across our area, but across the UK and the globe for his work in the world of clairvoyance. And he joins me now on the line for a chat. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Now, we haven't been able to get you on a video call because you're in the middle of nowhere up a mountain at the moment, so
That's right, yes.
we can live with that. However, how are you and what's going on in your world at the moment?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. And we seem to be getting an influx of people wanting to know what's going to happen because of the current environment and everything that's going on. So it's becoming very interesting.
I can imagine it is. And obviously, with your work, it's very often face-to-face. That hasn't been able to happen for a while. But you are also well known for doing telephone readings too. So you've been able to carry on in spite of everything that's been happening.
Yes, that's right. The telephone really can be a very good medium to talk to people because you don't see the person, so you only pick up on their presence, and that's what makes it interesting.
And it shows your worth in what you're doing as well, because sometimes, people could be accused of reading reactions to things, and certainly if it's a telephone reading that you're doing, all you've got is the sound of their voice to work with.
That's right, yes. The more reaction you have, the worse the reading will be. The rule of thumb is that you talk to the person by telling them what you can see. Then afterwards, if they want to ask questions, that's fine.
So what does it normally involve when somebody does set up a reading with you? There's obviously probably not that much consultation beforehand. Someone makes a booking, and then you will start talking through what you need from them to begin with.
I take an object to hold and then simply get my mind into that state halfway between sleep and awake, where the conscious mind is going down and the subconscious mind is coming up, like that warm feeling you get before you go to sleep. And then I just tell them everything that comes into my mind.
And then once you've shared this, obviously they can then interpret this how they see it from the information you've given.
Well, the thing about interpretation is that if you try to do that, it probably won't work out the way you thought it was going to. It's better to take it literally, which is why I record it, really. Make a note of it on a recording, or note of it in whatever way you can, and then see what happens. And it's fascinating sometimes how something that you say you will think is one way, and actually it turns out to be another. But it turns out, just as it comes sometimes.
And of course, we know you from your time sharing astrology on local radio for many, many years. And
yes, that was a great time. Yeah.
Is that still something that you work on as well? Do you do astrological charts for people?
No, I don't do individual charts these days. I just look at the trends. It fascinates me where the planets are in relation to each star sign sometimes. And the astrology side of it really is something that kind of personal interest, but I used to look at all the trends, put it together, then try and put it together in a sort of semi-amusing kind of way so that people could take it as a sort of guide, really.
Mm-hmm. Something to look out for in your day-to-day life, and the way in which the star signs work has been an interest for many thousands of years, hasn't it?
Yes, oh indeed, yes, it's ancient, absolutely, yes, and in many cultures too.
So when you're working with people at the minute, I mean, we know from what you've done in the past, you would often have events and big gatherings. Obviously, that's something that hasn't been able to happen this year, and that's a lot of people disappointed because they do like to get together and have a time of communion on this.
Yes, it's nice to meet up. I worked still do work with the Psychic Research Foundation of Great Britain, and they have regular sort of meetings at different parts of the country. And it's lovely to keep in touch with the people as well, because a lot of them are developing their own abilities, maybe in different ways, maybe in healing or in passing on knowledge to other people or clairvoyance or whatever. But a very interesting group of people who have all got different ways of looking at things. The lovely part about it is they're a great cultural mixture, but they're also a mixture of interests too. So when we do have a weekend together, it becomes great fun, and we normally find that we get the leisure side of it as well.
So the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Now, obviously, we are in difficult times at the moment, and this means, say, a lot of people are looking to you for not necessarily reassurance, but at least some understanding of their direction and path. And when it comes down to the world we're in at the moment, I mean, how do you see things progressing? I mean, fingers crossed we're going to see a better world to come in the near future.
Well, I never contemplated or could see what's happening on with this pandemic, etc. But I did keep getting this feeling of civil war. Now, I'll be quite straightforward about it. I've said it to quite a few people. I only hope it doesn't escalate to anything silly. But I think the world will go in a good direction eventually. When we stop dividing people into groups and we see ourselves as being one big group, then we've got the real power to go forward. And I do think that will come. I think it will be a backlash from those who want us to do the opposite to that.
And hopefully, with the likes of this coronavirus pandemic, it will help us to work together as one global community.
I think so. Yes, I think so. I'm old enough to remember the time when you would know your next door neighbour, and when you lived in a little group where you'd all help each other. And you know, it's quite strange. There's good that comes from all sorts of things, and I think the good has come from that particular situation of people working together, even though they can't see each other. Things like clapping for the NHS. You know, the deed is good, but the sort of aspect of that where people come together is even better because they're standing as one.
John, where can people get in touch with you so they can find out about future events and, of course, talk to you if they need to?
Oh, the best way is give us a call, and that's on the Wolverhampton number, which is 01902 334 224.
John Starkey, always good to speak to you. Stay safe and we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Thanks.